Mr. Rodman declined to say whether he had spoken about the trip with Mr. Trump, who 4 years ago endorsed Mr. Rodman's visiting North Korea. "Well, I'm pretty sure he's pretty much happy with the fact that I'm over here trying to accomplish something that we both need," Mr. Rodman said. As reported by the AP, Mr. Trump spoke to Fox News in 2013 about Mr. Rodman and North Korea, a year in which Mr. Rodman also appeared on his Celebrity Apprentice show. "Maybe Dennis is a lot better than what we have," he said. Suzanne DiMaggio, a director and senior fellow at the New America think tank who had been involved in unofficial talks with North Korea, said on Twitter that there was a high probability of communication between the Trump administration and Mr. Rodman. While traveling in Tokyo, Thomas A. Shannon Jr., the United States Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs, said that Mr. Rodman was not acting in any official capacity. "We are aware of his visit. We wish him well, but we have issued travel warnings to Americans and suggested they not travel to North Korea for their own safety," Mr. Shannon said. The visit is the latest leg in a strange tale. In February 2013, Mr. Rodman, an NBA Hall of Famer, became one of the first Americans then known to have met Kim Jong-un, who had taken over the leadership of North Korea after his father's death in 2011. Mr. Kim, a longtime basketball fan, invited Mr. Rodman, and the two sat together while watching an exhibition game that featured 3 Harlem Globetrotters. Mr. Rodman returned in September 2013 when he held Mr. Kim's newborn daughter. A few months later, he made another visit with a group of former NBA players. Officials in President Barack Obama's administration said they would have blocked Mr. Rodman from visiting if they had any power to do so. The NBA distanced itself from the issue, and Mr. Rodman was criticized by politicians and human rights advocates for giving friendly publicity to one of the world's most repressive states. But he also offered up little-known details about Mr. Kim, confirming his age and his birthday, for instance. He also suggested that Mr. Obama simply pick up the phone and call the North Korean leader. The United States and North Korea do not have formal diplomatic relations, and Mr. Trump has called on China to pressure its neighbor and ally to rein in its nuclear weapons program.